Hey guys, I'm Khushboo, one of the verified educators on Unacademy. So in this particular video, I'm going to talk about my upcoming course, that is of the modern history and post-independence India, or India after independence. Both are the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this particular course in this video, and you will get to know that what is my plan and how I'll be taking it forward. Okay, so let's get started. So before proceeding ahead, a few things related to my previous plus courses. So I have taken four plus courses, and I have successfully completed those four plus courses as well, out of which two were related to this history itself. So that was of the ancient medieval history and art and culture. Okay, and the other two was related to this CSAT paper 2. Okay, so these total 4 plus courses I have recently completed. So over here, this modern history and post independence India, these two topics I'll be taking, and these are very important one. Okay, so these are very important when it comes to the mains and as well as the prelims. Okay, so let me tell you about this modern history. Okay, so this modern history is important from mains and prelims both point of view, and it is actually very important because in prelims itself, more than 15 questions, around 15 questions on an average, 15 questions comes from this modern history itself. Okay, now when it comes to this mains, I'm talking about this modern history only. Okay, so when it comes about when we talk about this mains, around 70 question, 70 marks. Okay, the questions up to 70 marks are which comes, these are related to this modern history itself. Okay, so this is actually very important. Okay, and along with this post independence India, both of them are very important, and this post independence India is related to this mains topic itself. Okay, so these two this is the topic, and this is the course name which I'm going to talk about in this particular course. And I have one more plus course which is which is open for the registration, and that is the for geography. So you can check out this one as well on the Unacademy's plus website. Okay, so and here this is my profile on Unacademy. You can check it out. I have around 50,000 followers, more than 1 million views on my platform, on this particular platform. Okay, and this is the recently I have launched this one for the prelims 2018. You can check out this particular course as well, and this is science and tech course as well. These are free of cost, available on the Unacademy website. Okay, so now let's get started with this one. Here I'm going to discuss about the course structure. Okay, so here I'm going to discuss about the course structure, that how I'll be taking forward this particular course. Okay, so this is the very first one, the very first lecture, wherein I'll be discussing about the modern history. I'll be introducing you that how it is important, why it is important. Okay, and everything related to this one I'll be discussing. Then in the same class, I'll be talking about the decline of Mughal Empire. This is very important event, so this is the reason why I'll be talking about this decline of Mughal Empire in the very first lecture. Okay, this second one will be the advent of Europeans, that how Europeans came to India, why they came to India, and who came first and all, and how these this Britishers started expanding over here. All these things we'll be talking about in these three lectures itself. Okay, so these are very important events, because modern history is all about the the Europeans itself. Okay, and the struggle of freedom. Okay, now the next one is the very important event, and which is very commonly known as the very first fight for the independence in our history. Okay, and that is the 1857. Okay, so this revolt of 1857, to this particular event, is very important from our history point of view. Okay, so we will be talking about this. Next one would be related to the socio-religious reform movements. Okay, so this socio-religious reform movements, here we will be talking about lot many topics, right? And here this is very huge topic, so that is the reason why I'll be taking this particular topic in two parts. Okay, next one in this particular class itself, that is along with this part 2 of socio-religious reform movements, I'll be talking about the modern nationalism and the militant nationalism, which was rising slowly in our country, the militant one. Next one would be this start of Gandhian period. Okay, and this revolutionary activities right from 1907 to 1917 and the World War First. Okay, After that, the second phase of nationalism. This is the very first phase we have talked about, okay, and then we will be talking about the second phase of nationalism, okay. And the second phase of nationalism, we will be taking it in three parts, okay. So we will be talking about this in three parts. Let me tell you why in three parts. You can check out these, the year itself from 1919 to 1939. So lot many important events happened in this particular, in this time period itself, okay. So this is the reason why I have taken three classes. I have dedicated three classes for this, and this is one of the most important events which happened. And in this if you remember one thing about this, that in this particular year itself, a lot many events happened, okay. So we will be talking about that, right. And the next one, we will be in the next of this modern history itself, we will be talking about the impact of World War II, the Second World War, that is World War II, and the Quit India movement and various other movements in this class, okay. Next one will be the Wavell Plan, Cabinet Mission, Mountbatten Plan and all, okay, and how these plans led to the independence of India, right. So these plans are actually very important, so that is why we will be discussing this, okay. After this, we will be done with our modern history portion, okay. Now we will be moving forward. After this itself, we will be starting off with the in India after independence, okay, that is the post independence India, okay. So here we will be discussing this post independence India, that is India after independence, under five topics, okay. So the very first one will be the Nehruvian era. This is the very first one. Next, we will be talking about the Shastri period. Then we will be talking about the Indira Gandhi period, then Rajiv Gandhi period, then post 1990s, okay. What happened after this 1990s, we will be talking about in this particular period itself, okay. Now these five period is very important. A lot many things happened. If we talk about this Nehruvian era itself, we will be talking about this particular era in three classes, because this is very important. Let me tell you that this thing happened, around this Nehruvian era, we will be taking from 1947 to this 1964. Okay, so in this one, this integration of princely states happened, then official language issue happened, then state reorganization on linguistic basis happened, okay. So all these things we will be discussing. Then the foreign policy we will be discussing, this tribal consolidation we will be discussing. All these points we will be discussing in these three classes, okay, and that too in very detailed manner. Next thing is this Shastri period. So this Shastri period is of from 1964 to 1966, okay. So in this economic crisis happened, this food crisis happened, then 1965 war happened in this particular period itself, then the Tashkent declaration where Mr. Shastri, he died also. Next is Indira Gandhi period. We will be discussing in two parts, okay. So this Indira Gandhi period, we will be discussing in various parts, like from 1966 to 69. This would be the first one. Then we will be discussing from 1969 to 1973, okay. Then this 1973 to 1977. After this, from 1980 to 84, okay. So these are the years which are related to the Indira Gandhi period, okay. So we will be discussing all these periods, okay. In this, what happened, like the 1967, in this 1966 to 1969, this Congress, very first time Congress lost at the state level, we will be discussing about then about that. In 1969, this Congress is split, we will be talking about that, okay. In this 1980-84, we'll be discussing about the Kashmir crisis, Punjab crisis, Assam crisis, and because of the Punjab crisis only, Indira Gandhi, she was assassinated, okay. So all these things we'll be discussing. Now from this 1973 to this 1969 to this 1977, I'll be consolidating everything in one, okay. So we will be discussing about this Bangladesh liberation war, then emergency, then this Jai Prakash movement. All these things we'll be discussing in these two classes itself, okay. Then Rajiv Gandhi period, then post 1990s, okay. Then after that, we will be discussing about the various land reforms which happened in our India, Okay, then social movements such as the Dalit movement, peasant movement, then women, movements related to the women, we will be discussing about that. And then in the last class we will be revising everything, and that too only the most important things we will be talking about. Now let me tell you one more thing about over here is that, as I told you, this particular course will be very much beneficial for the prelims and as well as the mains. Okay, so we will be discussing as many previous year questions possible. Okay, we will be covering as many questions as possible, previous year question papers of this modern history. Obviously, prelims, it means that modern history. Okay, now when it comes to mains, I'll be guiding you that how you are supposed to write answers for this modern history and as well as the post independence India. Okay, so I can assure you that this will be the one stop solution for you. Okay, so one stop solution for you, wherein you can be getting knowledge related to the modern history, the complete package of modern history and the post independence India. Okay, so this is it, which this is it about this particular course of this particular plus course. Okay, so you can enroll obviously in this plus course, and see you in the class. Okay, so take care, bye bye, and have a nice day.